Today I would like to tell you about the Cortina method. The Cortina Institute makes courses for 10 different languages, for English, for Spanish and Portuguese speakers, for both Spanish and Portuguese, Italian, French, German, and Greek, and then also for Japanese and Russian and Vietnamese. And these courses, depending on whether you have an older or newer printing or a hardcover or a softcover, might be known, say, as Russian in 20 lessons or conversational Russian, but the content is the same. This series is another product of the 1950s and 60s, and that was the time period, I believe, when language courses were simply more sophisticated and intelligent and comprehensive than language courses tend to be today. And so now, this is half a century ago, the language itself is somewhat dated naturally, so you would not want to make one of these courses your sole source of learning, your primary and initial material for study just before you went abroad and were to try to engage people in conversation. But if you're engaged in a longer term and more substantive scholarly investigation of a language, then these are certainly things that you could integrate very profitably into a regimen of study. These courses are available in two different kinds of there are two different kinds of courses in them. The Greek and the English, French, German, Spanish, and Italian are the sort of conversational direct method. And these courses all have, like the Linguaphone and like the Berlitz, if you look at the table of contents, they're the same for the first 15 or 16 of the 20 lessons. And they proceed through everyday life, beginning with the family and nationalities, going through time-telling and running various kinds of errands, going to the theater, and these kind of things. The pattern of each lesson is not exactly parallel in these 6 different languages, but very much so that, again, I do believe it would facilitate your study of the second or third language if you had studied this method beforehand with another language. And then the final 4 lessons in these methods are much longer dialogues, and they are about cultural themes. So here's the Greek method, and it's the road to Athens and impressions of traveling through Greece and things like that. I think these courses are interesting and intelligent because they were written back in the late 1950s and early 60s by people who knew what they were talking about. This was authored by 2 professors at Columbia University, professors of linguistics and Greek language, literature, civilization, and so they're intelligent courses. They're fun to work through. They are structured in a fashion, as I said, they have the parallelism between them that makes them similar both to the Linguaphone and the Berlitz methods that I have reviewed, and they also have the bilingual text column, similar to the Assimil method that I reviewed at the very beginning. So they partake of various aspects of some courses that we have, methods that we've gone over before, and can be integrated in sort of tandem with any of those. In these methods, you get, on the left-hand side of the page, you get the target language, then you get in small print a pronunciation guide if you need it, similar to the way Berlitz did that, very similar, and then the translation. And this is for the first 16 lessons, and that's all you get, pure conversation. And then you get in the, as I said, by the 17th, 18th, 19th lesson, by the end of the book, look at this. This is pure Greek. 5, 6, 8 pages of solid Greek text that you're being prepared to read, because you are given in this method a good, solid 3,000 word vocabulary of modern Greek. And also, in between the lessons and the vocabulary, you have a good 70-page reference grammar integrated into this. As I said, that's the sort of representative of the half the courses, and the other half of the courses are the Japanese and the Portuguese and the Russian courses and I don't know about the Vietnamese, I haven't looked at that. These are pattern drill methods, and these also, well, here, this Portuguese course is by Edwin B. Williams, who was professor of Romance languages at the University of Pennsylvania and the author of many wonderful Italian and Portuguese and Spanish dictionaries. And this is a little bit later, the 1960s. here, and these methods give you a much shorter basic dialogue at the beginning, and then go into pattern drills. And for Portuguese, I think the method of drilling Portuguese is recognized here. You only get the 4 or 5 sentence variants of it, and so that's nice and substantial for that language. But a language like Russian, and this book was authored again by another professor at the University of Pennsylvania and somebody in a theological seminary from Russia. This Russian, being a highly inflected and highly irregular language, is something that you definitely need to do pattern drills with. But pattern drills tend to be kind of boring, and somehow the pattern drills in this book are somewhat less so than those that I've seen in a lot of other courses. So that's the good thing to be said for this. Again, like the Portuguese, like the Japanese one, you get a shorter dialogue in bilingual columns, and then you get lots and lots of pattern drills, substitution drills. You're not supposed to fill in the blank. The whole thing is written out for you. You just are given one sentence. And then a number of other sentences that are not translated. You need to have recourse to the vocabulary to make sure you understand them, but there are variations on that type of sentence. And then I'm sure this will be much too small on the camera eye. Even if I try to hold it up, it'll probably get blurry, but you get numbers next to a lot of the words, and the numbers are to the wonderful reference grammar, which paragraph in the reference grammar you're to go to. This is a 450-page book that, as I said, it's antiquated language. This is putting you right, it's from 1951. This is right into Stalin's Russia, and it's fascinating for that, but it's not apropos if you're going to go do business in modern St. Petersburg. But you get 200 pages, again, of short dialogues and very interesting and comprehensive pattern drills, and then another 200 pages of a very, very good reference grammar, and then you are given a vocabulary that gives you a solid, even counted for you here on the cover, 3,700 words. Now, I should have said this in some of my earlier reviews when I'm always talking about how many words they teach you. Let me leaf through some other volumes so you see what they're like. Here's Japanese. It's Romanized, but you can still get the idea of how they're doing it. These figures are debatable, of course, but you're generally said to need about 10,000 words to be truly fluent conversationally about all topics in a language, whereas 5,000 words is the basic everyday range of conversation. And with half of that, with 2,500 words, you should be able to paraphrase and make your way around. But so if a course teaches you 3,700 words, you've gone far beyond that, and that's very substantial, and most courses today don't teach you anything like that. So again, let me show you the Italian method, which was authored by Count Cortina himself. Now, apparently, the Cortina method, as it says on every cover, has been around since 1882. Berlitz started in 1878, but whereas Berlitz is now a household name and has centers everywhere, Cortina, I think, had a heyday in the first half of the century, and now it's harder to find. But if you look at the back cover of any of these books, you can see that they have a free CD or cassette offer that you can call. And I've just shown you the main course books, but they offer these as part of an integrated series when they give you, again, they have taken their old records and put them onto CDs, and they cover all the dialogues in here, plus they give you supplementary books of other dialogues and some test things and a dictionary, and it's quite a big package for just over, I think, $130 on the average, and it's, again, something that would be well worth the investment. They've been around since the 1950s and 60s. I hope they're still around. When I get my institute going, I'm certainly going to acquire all of these and keep them in the resource center there, and you might want to look into them before that. Here, the Cortina method.